Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Popcorn Podcast. I'm Tommy Cressa. There will be no rhyme for Rand for this episode, which I know makes two in a row, but it is not for the reason that you would think. Me and Ryan are on great terms, and we actually recorded this exact same episode just 22 minutes ago, and it was 51 minutes and 28 seconds, but we did not realize that Ryan's mic was muted. After we had done the audio check, we went to go listen to it, so we muted Ryan's mic so that we wouldn't pick up while we were trying to listen to make sure our audio sounded great. In that time, we forgot to unmute Ryan's mic. We recorded the entire episode. We thought it was a fantastic episode that we were so excited to share with all of you. So then we recorded it. I went to edit all of it, and I realized that Ryan's entire track is silent. You could not hear him. And so I am re-recording this episode at 8:20 at night on Tuesday. This episode comes out on Wednesday, so I wanted to make sure that you guys still get a Wednesday episode. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on episodes 1 and 2 of Welcome to Derry. So there won't be much to this episode. Besides a quick thoughts on, just episodes 1 and 2. I'll give you a quick rundown of what I was up to since I've been gone. Uh, I went on a quick trip down to Georgia. I was actually on a film set, which was really, really cool. It was my first feature film that I got to be a part of. I got to do some liaison work, giving some tips on how to be accurate with the military. I also got to do some amazing stunt work, which was so much fun to do. I learned so much while on set. I got to meet some people that knew the podcast, and I wouldn't say they were fans of ours. They knew us from being on Raiders. They knew us from the 2V podcasts. So it was really cool to meet some people out there. I then even got to have some lines in the film, so I'm so excited to be able to see it and see myself on screen, which is something since I was a little kid has meant so much to me. I have dreamt of being in a movie, and to have a fight scene in a movie is something that 6-year-old Tommy, dressing up as Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, a Jedi, Frodo, and everything else, has always dreamed of, and something I think will be so cool to be able to tell my kids about. That's the route that I, me and Sam go down. Something I get to experience with my mom, my dad, that they've been by my side with, and they've been my biggest supporters. So it was just it was a very emotional thing to be able to be a part of and get to experience. Just on my first film set and get to be on screen in a fight scene doing my own stunts. And it wasn't a huge part, but just to have lines and do all that was such a huge moment, it felt like, for me. And it felt like just the beginning of something that I'm so excited to go on this journey. And I'm so thankful for all of you that have kind of pushed me in this direction to go for it and to pursue these dreams that I have. And yeah, I'm just so thankful for all that. And besides that, of course, I got to spend time with my amazing girlfriend who I love endlessly. And she's also one of my biggest supporters. Was so amazing letting me stay with her on such short notice when she's doing her own amazing thing, being in PA school, pushing and working so hard every day, studying and taking time to let me kind of crash in on her life when she's trying to work hard and focus while I'm trying to also do my own thing. And yeah, so it was just a lot all at once for both of us, but we made it work and we got to spend some quality time together. And in long distance, I feel like it's so important for us. So just these little quick weekends mean so much to us, which so it was great to just get a little bit of time together. And then lastly, the ghost video. Our investigation of the Brinton Lodge is live now on YouTube. It was so much fun to record, and it's been so much fun to see people watching the videos, watching our TikToks and everything else. It's been so cool just seeing everyone's reactions to it, family, friends, and everyone in between. We can't wait to share more moments of it with you guys, like clips on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and everything else. We're so thankful that people liked the video. It was months of work to get this all situated, getting the gear, practicing with the gear, making sure it all worked, planning out the video, editing the video, rough cuts of the video. Liam did an amazing job editing the video, and just so much that we worked on to get it all situated and ready for everyone. So yeah, it meant so much to us that people are liking it. And so yeah, make sure to check out our investigation of the Brinton Lodge. It is live on YouTube right now. So please, 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 please continue to show the videos some amazing support. We are so grateful to every single one of you for watching our videos, liking them, sharing them, and everything else. So thank you for that. Now, enough of the soppy stuff that I know most of you probably don't care about to listen to. So I promise I'm done with that now. And I will get into my quick review of episodes 1 and 2 of Welcome to Derry, which is currently sitting at a 7.9 out of 10 IMDb, 83% critic score, and a 79% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. It also has a 68% Google user rating on, 68% Google user rating. Uh, as I said, there's only 2 episodes out so far. Both these episodes were directed by Andy Muschietti, and a cool thing that they did was that episodes come out on Sundays, but on Halloween they actually released the second episode, which I thought was really cool of them. Really cool for them to do when they could just wait for Sundays, but the fact that they put it out on Halloween, I thought was something that was different that I don't see most people do, most studios do with film or television. But Ryan talked about how I've always had this weird, very specific thing with horror that I don't like when horror uses CGI. And it's very specific to me. It's just I like the practical look of things. Horror gets this weird CGI look to things where it looks shiny. And Ryan thought I wasn't gonna like the show because of that. But I very much feel the opposite. I think that the CGI looks really good in the show, and I'm very much all in on the series right now. I can't wait for the next episode. I'm one of the people that's waiting on Sunday now for this show. I cannot wait for episode 3. I think Andy Muschietti has done a great job in these first 2 episodes. I'm excited for the story. I'm excited to see where Hanlon's story goes, like searching for the evil and to see how they can quote unquote control it, as we know that they're really not going to be able to control it. Uh, and then also be like seeing how they're connecting the rest of like the Stephen King universe. We see Dick Halloran. He's the groundskeeper from The Shining. Ryan brought up in the previous recording, which now didn't pick up. You also see that they talk about Shawshank in the clip for next week's episode, coming up this week now. So they're just showing all these different parts of the Stephen King universe, which I think is hinting towards maybe a Dark Tower and so many other things. So it's really cool that we're getting all of this, while also getting this really interesting first season, while getting not even seeing Pennywise yet, which I think sets up what could be a really, really special first season of television. But quickly running through episode 1, it is set up with. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, my notes are a little messed up. The series starts off in 1962 as a boy named Matty Clements asks a family to take him out of Derry, and the journey for them becomes a little bit strange as the family begins to behave a little bit odd, and the mother of the family actually gives birth to this demon mutant baby who then attacks Matty and killing him in the car. And Matty was on the posters for this show, so I think right away people realized that this show is not going to be what we all thought it was going to be, and people anyone can die in the show, and we learn that even more as the show goes on. There's then a 4-month time jump. We see Major Hanlon arrives in Derry on a military base, and right away he's experiencing racism, being in the 60s, being a black major at this time. We meet Lily. She had a really traumatic incident with her father when he was crushed working at a pickle factory, when he his body ended up pretty much becoming minced meat, and he end up in a bunch of the pickle jars. She became friends with Maddie, and we see that she has this terrifying image of Maddie singing to her from inside the pipes. His fingers come up into the pipes, and it's such a creepy scene. And that's what I mean. I think they're doing such a great job with the fear that Pennywise has, like he can bring out into the world without having to show him yet. And that's what I like so far. And it's a strength to the show, is doing the fear in different ways that don't have to show the clown yet. So I give Andy Muschietti a lot of credit for that. That he didn't feel like he had to rely on the clown so far. Other characters we've met so far is Teddy Uris and Phil Malkin. We also met her friend, Lily's friend Marge, who is an asshole, by the way. Can't stand her. We also meet Ronnie Grogan and her father. Hank Rogan, the owner of the movie theater, or a very important set piece, which we'll get to in a little bit. Sorry, I'm fixing my notes. Please stand by with me if I make some go silent for a second. I gotta fix some of my notes. It was a crazy thing trying to re-record this episode on such short notice, and I'm very sorry for that. As we said, it's Teddy and Phil. Teddy has his own horrific visions that he sees of this human lampshade that screams at him. And then Lily and Teddy and Phil decide to go searching for more information about Maddie's disappearance. As I said, they find Ronnie, who tells them that she heard children's voices coming from the sewers near the movie theater, singing that same song that Maddie was singing uh, to Lily through the sewers. And while that's going on, we see Leroy, the major. He was ambushed and attacked by these masked men while he was sleeping in the barracks. But then his buddy actually helps fight them off, and his name's Paulie Russo, and they get away before the group can harm him anymore. So then the group of kids eventually goes to the movie theater in search of answers, watching the film. But then in the film, they actually see Maddie, and they said they're going to get him out. Maddie then blames them for what happened to him and that they weren't good friends to him, that they're going to all die now too. Maddie then releases the mutant baby, which is now huge, and the mutant baby then kills both Teddy and Phil. Only one that survives is Lily, and whom is then rescued by Ronnie. Episode then ends, showing us that no one is safe in this show, and that this is not going to be like a Stranger Things, and that this show is just as violent as it is, and everyone is up for grabs. And not saying it as in Stranger Things, it as in it, the movie franchise that this series is a spinoff of. So I thought that first episode was a great pilot and really set us up for the season. I think episode 2 was a good episode. I do think it was a step back though from episode 1, but I think it had the best scene so far between the two episodes, which was the scene with Ronnie and seeing her deceased mother, which we will get to when that scene comes up. But opening up episode 2, we had Lily waking up, which gave people a moment, like Sam, my girlfriend, who I watched this with. She thought that maybe the whole thing was a dream sequence, and that uh, Phil and Phil and Teddy weren't actually dead, which I could see where she was coming from, because killing off kids in the first episode who were on the poster and were hyped up that they'd be part of the series would have been a crazy thing. Well, it wasn't. It was kind of Annie Machete messing with everyone, being like, "Oh, it's a dream sequence." No, it's not. The police then begin investigating Hank Rogan, who is the suspect of the murder and disappearance of these children. Again, it does make sense of why he would be the suspect. It's his movie theater. The kids disappeared. Who else are you going to blame? Even though his daughter and Lily both said he was not there. But while that's going on, Major Hanlon suspects that his attacker was orchestrated by Soviet spies, and that the Sergeant Masters is imprisoned for it. And then Charlotte Hannon walks through Derry, his wife, and comes and now has moved in with him along with their son. And she breaks up this fight, and that scene I think was so well done, because I don't know how many of you have seen the show Them. It was a show me and my dad watched. It did such a great job of just feeling out of place, and it had to have been how so many people how so many people of color felt during this time of discrimination, where they just felt like so many people were watching them and judging them and all these terrible things, because I think they do such a great job of it in this episode, specifically during this scene. And it's terrible, and the way that people were treated back then and the way people are still treated. But in this scene, I feel like they did a great job of visualizing it and making people feel it through the screen. But I think that's why I really like how Andy Muschietti is going about this series, is that he's not shying away from all the different things, the Cold War, the discrimination, everything that's going on in this world at the real time, along with Pennywise and the problems that this universe brings with it. So I give Andy Muschietti a lot of credit for not hiding away behind these other problems. as I said, Ronnie then has a vision of her deceased mother where she's then birthed again by her mother in one of the most uncomfortable, sad, and terrifying scenes. It's just heartbreaking because you learn that Ronnie actually killed her mother, quote unquote, killed her mother. Her mother died during childbirth when Ronnie was born, and she pretty much tells Ronnie that she killed her and that she ripped her apart when she was born, which is, if that's how your mother died, it's going to kill you on the inside every time because you know that the person that your father loved the most, you took them away from them. And just the whole idea behind the scene broke my heart, and it just felt so impactful and so deep and disturbing. But it's such just a well done scene, and having the Pennywise's teeth in the scene with them on the mom, just everything about the scene I think was just absolutely amazing. So I think they did a great job with the scene, making it uncomfortable, disgusting, the umbilical cord being so thick. And then Ryan talked about how the mother, it goes from being so loud to just utter silence. There's just something about that in horror where it's so unsettling. And I think it works again in this, and it works so well in so many different types of horror. And this scene specifically, it works again. Um, the army then goes to another storyline. As I said, we see Dick Halloran, and we learn that he kind of gets these special privileges that he can leave base when everyone shows up drunk around base, because as we know from The Shining, he has these special powers that he can see things, the future, and visions that other people don't have, of course. And he's helping the army find the power. He's finding it where it is, so they can find it. And they're looking through the woods, and they're pretty much telling him that if they don't find it soon, they're gonna revoke these special things that he can do. His like passes and stuff. Not like they can't take his powers away. And then we see Will Hanlon, the son of the major. He's struggling to adjust to his new school, but then he befriends Rich and Ronnie. Rich actually is a very funny character, which I'm excited to see more of him in the next coming episodes. Ronnie and him have a really funny interaction in after school detention. He's reading the science book because he's super into science, and I think it's a great scene for him where he just shares like how he thinks science is cool, and he explains how it's interesting to him. And I just think it's a really heartwarming scene showing him and explaining his character more. We see Chief Bowers then blackmails Lily into pretty much giving up Hank when it wasn't fair, because again, these were tactics police used at this time, and used it against people of color specifically. Was that Lily didn't say that Hank did anything wrong. He said to Lily, it was Hank at the movie theater. He said, "Can you absolutely be sure, Lily, that he wasn't at the movie theater?" Which, of course, she said no. Well, you don't see it on camera, but she said probably no. And that's not fair to her, because she can't absolutely be sure, because she was just in the theater. He could have been in another room somewhere, but that's not fair to her. And I think that it was just another one of those scenes where you're looking at the world around it, and Derry is its own problem. Derry is an evil place. But these problems aren't just in Derry. These problems are everywhere in the world at this time, especially in the United States. And I think that's why I really like the show. Like I said, it's not shying away from these other issues. Um, Hanlon then exonerates Masters as one of the attackers in a really cool scene where he explains the Makarov. We actually owned a Makarov in my house for a long time. It was my pop-ups, and it didn't work. The firing pin didn't work in it. But as soon as he started talking about the scene, I knew exactly what he meant with the gun, like how it worked. And I was like, oh my god, I know exactly what he means. And it was funny to watch the guy try and use it. The gun's very weird to load. It doesn't slide like a normal gun. You need it needs to be handled a specific way for it to work. And so it's funny to see them do it when not many people are going to know why that mattered, but I knew why it mattered, and so that was just a cool little detail for me. And yeah, it was very funny. Then General Shaw tells Hanlon that he was the one that actually orchestrated the attack to test his fear, and that he can retrieve the weapon that instills mortal fear in anyone. And then after another vision, so pretty much that Hanlon doesn't have. There was an injury he sustained during his crash that left him in the POW camp. That he doesn't feel fear. Like he's a man literally without fear. So he can actually go in and retrieve it like without any problem because he doesn't feel fear. And then Lily, she sees her father in the pickles in a amazingly filmed scene in the grocery store where you see this man walking around kind of like it's almost like he's on skates, and the way that they whisper, and the scene's really well done. It was really fantastic filmmaking, and me and Sam were saying as the scene's going on how creepy it was. And I highly recommend if people want to be getting into filmmaking, this is a scene that people show filmmakers. It's just one of those scenes that you're watching and like, wow, this is really well made and really well done. It was just how everyone moves so fluidly, so fluid-like. I'm sorry. Um, but after she has this other vision, she's sent back to Juniper Hill, the psychiatric hospital that she was in originally, before the show, which she had not seen. And we know how horrible it is because she just cries and cries. She says she doesn't want to go back, and it's heartbreaking. And me and Ryan said we don't know if this is in Derry, but if this is in Derry, where Pennywise can get to her, it can get to her. It's gonna be so much worse because she already hates this place as much. So the fear for her is gonna be so elevated. So he has probably so much more strength there. But if it's not in Derry, she's actually gonna be safe. But I think, of course, it's welcome to Derry. It's got to be in Derry, right? So I think if it is, it's gonna be really cool to see in a psychiatric hospital what kind of visions and stuff that they can get out of it. And then episode 2, though, ends with that the army actually finds a car with corpses inside, a beacon that will help them locate the weapon, And I think it looks like the car from the beginning of episode 1. Me and Ryan both agree with that, but there was guns in the car, so I guess it was more. It looked kind of also like the shootout in the opening credits, which is maybe something we will see in the next season, because I know that the plan is to go back 27 years in each season to show like the birth of Pennywise. So I think it'll be really cool to see all of that when we get to those points. But all in all, I think these first 2 episodes do a really, really good job. And yeah, I'm super excited to see more. And I just hope that the show continues on the path that it's on. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about Welcome to Derry. I want to hear what you guys have to say, so please DM us at the_popcorn_podcast. Message me, Tom_Cresta. Message Ryan for _12. The popcorn_pod on TikTok. Message us. We'd love to hear from you guys. Go on our YouTube and comment on our stuff. We want to hear from you guys everywhere. We want to know your guys' favorite movies, favorite TV shows, what you guys like, what you guys dislike. Tell us where you guys want us to investigate for a ghost hunting video. We are down to investigate anywhere. We want you guys to enjoy our content. We want you guys to tell us what to review, how to review it. I mean, we want this to be a community where people can share their opinions on film, television, anything. We just want this to be a fun place. So, before I go, recommendation of the week. Ryan recommended The Chair Company. I just want to make sure he gets that out there. He loves it, and he highly recommends it to everyone. I'm going to recommend Task. It's from where I'm from, where Ryan's from. And it's our accent that everyone always talks about. I think it's really good. So, it's pretty cool to see my neighborhood on screen. And so, yeah, I can't wait for more people to see it. And, yeah, my hometown's in the show. And just one of the characters did the job my dad did for a couple years. So it's just really cool just seeing all that. And Tess was really good. It was way better than Mayor of Easttown. I didn't like Mayor of Easttown. I didn't think her accent really matched the Delco accent. But, yeah, Task and The Chair Company. Both on HBO Max. So if you want to watch either of our recommendations of the week, go on HBO Max and check them out. Thank you guys again for checking out this week's episode. We'll be back next week to talk about Welcome to Derry, episode 3, and hopefully to review a movie I'm going to see on an early screener, thanks to Fox and Disney. Predator Badlands tomorrow with Connor. Ryan could not make it, But so that would probably be something I review. I'm also interviewing the amazing Madeline Doherty tomorrow, the director of Faye, a new found footage horror movie by Terror Films and Madeline Doherty, which is going to be so great. And we can't wait to hear what you guys think. And we will see you guys in our next episode. Thanks, guys.